we want to thank Film and Photography Club for doing the productions and taking all those photos. You can see them on the wall, and there's some more. No filming. We're filming the performance for you, so you don't have to worry about that. The play was written about 100 years ago in the 1940s, right around when World War II started. And although there are definitely differences today, we see a lot of similarities from today, and we think you will too. And it really speaks today, and I think that's all I have to say. So put your hands together for the cast of Skin of Our Teeth.
Be weary of the ways of the world. I'm weary of the ways of the world. I'm worn out from my body, yeah. I'll be back across real soon. I'm gonna look for my body, yeah. I'll be back across real soon. But you know that a king is only a man with flesh and bones. He bleeds just like you do. He said, what does that leave you? And do you belong? I do. Be leery about your place in the world. You're feeling like you're chasing the world. You're leaving not a trace in the world. While you're facing the
pleasure in bringing to you the news and events of the world.
Freeport, Long Island. The sun rose this morning at 6:32 a.m. This gratifying event was first reported by Miss Dorothy Stetson, who promptly telephoned the mayor.
The Society confirming the end of the world immediately went into a special session and postponed the arrival of the event for 24 hours. All honor to Mrs. Stetson for her public spirit.
New York City. The Gene Isman Theater. During the daily cleaning of this theater, a number of lost objects were collected, as usual, by Mr. Richie Faria.
Among these objects found today was a wedding ring inscribed to Eve from Adam, Genesis 2:18. The ring will be restored to the owner or owners if their credentials are satisfactory.
Tallahatchie, Vermont. The unprecedented cold weather of this summer has produced a condition that has not yet been satisfactorily explained. There was a report that a wall of ice is moving southward across these counties. The disruption of communication by the cold wave now crossing the country has rendered exact information difficult. But it seems that the wall of ice had pushed the Cathedral of Montreal as far as St. Albans, Vermont. For further information, see your daily papers.
The home of Mr. George Antipas, the inventor of the wheel. The discovery of the wheel following so closely on the discovery of the lever has sent to the attention of the country on Mr. Antipas. This is his home, conveniently situated near a public school, a church, and a firehouse, and is right handy to a Stop and Shop.
Mr. Antipas himself. He comes of a very old stock and has made his way up from next to nothing. It was reported that he was once a gardener, but left that situation under circumstances that have been variously reported.
This is Mrs. Antipas, the gracious and charming president of the Excelsior's Mothers Club. Mrs. Antipas is an excellent needlewoman. It is she who invented the apron.
Here we see the Antipases with their two children, Henry and Gladys, and Fred. The Fred on the rear is Miss Lily Sabina, the maid. I know we all want to congratulate this typical American family on its enterprise.
We all wish Mr. Antrobus a successful future. Now, the management takes you into the interior of this home for a brief visit.
Oh! 6 o'clock and Mr. Antrobus not home yet? Pray God nothing serious has happened to him while crossing the Hudson River. If anything has happened to him, we would certainly be inconsolable and have to move to less desirable residence district. The fact is, I don't know what will become of us. Here it is, the middle of August, and it's the coldest day of the year. Can anyone explain that? No, but I'm not surprised. The whole world's at 6s and 7s, and why the whole house hasn't fallen down about our ears long ago is a miracle to me. Mr. Antrobus is a very fine man, an excellent husband, and a great father. He has all the best interests of the community at heart. Of course, every muscle goes tense whenever a police officer walks by. But what I think is that there are certain charges that ought not to be made. We're all human. Who isn't? Mrs. Antrobus is a fine woman, as you would hope to see. She lives only for her children, and if it would be any benefit to her children, she'd see the rest of us stretched out dead at her feet without turning a hair, and that's the God's truth. If you want to know more about Mrs. Antrobus, just go and look at a tigress and look hard. As for the children, well, Henry Antrobus is a clean-cut American boy. He'll graduate from high school one of these days, if they make the alphabet any easier. Oh, Henry, when he has a stone in his hand, has perfect aim. He can hit anything from a bird to an older brother. Oh, didn't mean to say that. But it was certainly a very unfortunate accident, and it was very hard getting the police out of the house. Mr. and Mrs. Antrobus's daughter is named Gladys. She'll make some good man and good wife someday, if he'll just come down the movie screen and ask her. Well, here we are. We've managed to survive for some time now, catch as can. And if the dinosaurs don't trample us to death, and if the grasshoppers don't eat up our garden, we'll all live to see better days. Knock on wood. And my advice to you is, enjoy your ice cream while it's on your plate. That's my philosophy. Don't forget that a few years ago, we came through the depression by the skin of our teeth. One more time squeeze like that, and where will we be? We came through the depression by the skin of our teeth. One more time squeeze like that, and where will we be? Oh! 6 o'clock and Mr. Antrobus not home yet. Pray to God nothing serious has happened to him. If anything has happened to him, we would certainly be inconsolable and have to move to less desirable residence district. The fact is, we're in the middle of August. I don't know what will happen. Well, one more time squeeze like that, and where will we be?
Make up something, invent something.
Well, this certainly is a American home, and everyone is so happy and I can't invent any words for this play, and I'm glad I can't. I hate this play and every word in it. As for me, I don't understand a single word of it anyways. All about the trials the human race has gone through. There's a topic for you. And the freaking author has not made up his silly mind as to whether we're back in the caves or in New Jersey, and that's the way it is the whole way through.
Somerset.
Oh, anyways, it'll all be the same in 100 years. We came through the depression by the skin of our teeth. That's true. One more time squeeze like that, and where will we be?
Sabina, you let the fire go out.
Oh, one thing and another. Don't know whether my wit's job's headed down. Might as well be dead as alive after all 6s and 7s.
You've let the fire go out. Here it is, the coldest day of the year, right in the middle of August, and you've let the fire go out.
Mrs. Antrobus, I'd like to hand in my 2 weeks' notice. A girl like I can get a situation in a home where the family is rich enough to have fire in every room, Mrs. Antrobus. And a girl does not have to carry the responsibility of the whole house on her 2 shoulders. And to home, Mrs. Antrobus, where the master of the house doesn't go around pinching decent, self-respecting girls when he meets them in dark corridors. I name no names. I make no charges. You have my notice. I hope that's perfectly clear.
You've let the fire go out. Have you milked the mammoth?
I don't understand a single word of this play. Yes, I've milked the mammoth.
Until Mr. Antrobus comes home, we have no food and we have no fire. You better go over to the neighbors and borrow some fire.
Mrs. Antrobus, I can't. I die on the way there. You know I die. It's worse than January. The dogs are sticking to the sidewalks. I die.
Very well, I'll go.
Oh, no, you can't, Mrs. Antrobus. If you'd perish, oh, we just die. Oh. And how do we know Mr. Antrobus will be at back? We don't. If you go, I'll just kill myself.
Get up, Sabina.
Every night it's the same thing. Will he come back home safely or won't he? Will we starve to death or freeze to death or boil to death? Will we be killed by burglars? I don't know where we go on living. I don't know where we go on living at all.
Same thing. Always announcing your own death, Sabina. But give you a new hat or a plate of ice cream or a ticket to the movies and you want to live forever.
You don't care whether we live or die. All you care about is those children. If there were any good to them, you see the rest of us dead.
Well, maybe I would.
And what do they care about? Themselves. That's all they care about. Half the time they pretend they're someone else's children. Little thanks you get from them.
I'm not asking for any thanks.
And Mr. Antrobus? You don't understand him? All that hard work he puts into finding the alphabet, the multiplication table. Whenever he tries to find something new, you fight against it.
Oh, Sabina, I know you. When Mr. Antrobus dragged you home from your Sabine Hills, he did it to insult me. He did it for your pretty face and to insult me. You were the new wife, weren't you? For a year or two, you lay down on your bed all day, you polished the nails in your hands and feet. I washed your underclothes and I made you chicken broths. I bore children, and between my very groans, I'd stir the cream that you put on your face. But I knew you wouldn't last. You didn't last.
But it was I who inspired Mr. Antrobus to make the alphabet. Sorry to say it, Mrs. Antrobus, but you're not a very beautiful woman, and you wouldn't know what a man could do if he tried. It's girls like I that inspire the multiplication table. Sorry to say it, but you're not a very beautiful woman, and that's the God's truth.
And you didn't last. You sank to the kitchen, and what do? You let the fire go out. No wonder to you it seems easier being dead. Sure, reading and writing and counting on your fingers all day is very well in their own way, but I keep the hum going. Oh, there's that dinosaur in the front lawn against shield. Go away, go away! It's cold! Go around to the back of the house where you belong.
Now that you, the audience, are listening to this, it makes a little more sense. I wish it were 11 o'clock. I do not want to get dragged through this whole play again. There's a street band coming up the wall!
Oh, help me quick! Who is it? What do you want?
A telegram for Mrs. Antrobus from Mr. Antrobus in the city.
Are you sure? Maybe it's a truck. Maybe it's a truck.
No, I recognize his voice. We can let him in. I'm sorry we kept you waiting. We have to be careful, you know. Will you be quiet? Have you had your supper? Are you ready to come in? Young man, have you any fire with you? Don't light the grate, will you? What are people saying about this cold weather? Oh, Sabina, take a stick and go light the stove.
2 weeks, Mrs. Antrobus. That's the law.
What about this cold weather?
Well, of course, I don't know anything, but they say there's a wall of ice moving down from the north. That's what they say. We can't get Boston by telegraph, and they're burning pianos in Hartford. It moves everything in front of it. Churches and post offices and city halls. I live in Brooklyn myself.
What are people doing about it?
Well, talking mostly. There are some that are trying to go south, but the roads are crowded and you can't go very far in a cold like this.
What's this telegram you have for me?
Just give me 1 second. I just gotta remember it. This telegram was flashed from Murray Hill to University Heights, then by puffs of smoke from University Heights to Staten Island, then by lantern from Staten Island to Plainfield, New Jersey. My dear wife will be an hour late. Busy day at the office. Don't worry the children about the cold. Just keep them warm. Burn everything except Shakespeare.
Men! He knows I would burn 10 Shakespeares to prevent a child of mine from having one cold in the head. What does it say next?
Have made great discoveries today. Have separated M from N.
Oh! I know what that is. That's the alphabet. Yes, it is. Mr. Antrobus is just the cleverest man. When he's done with the alphabet, we'll be able to tell the future and everything.
Then listen to this. 10 tens makes 100, semicolon. Consequences far-reaching.
The Earth's turned into ice, and all he can do is make up new numbers. What does he say next?
I can't do this last part very well. Happy wedding anniversary to you! Happy wedding anniversary to you!
Molly, for the
Happy
beat
wedding
one.
anniversary, dear Eva! Happy wedding anniversary to you!
Is that in the telegram? Are they singing telegrams now? Oh, the Earth's getting so silly, no wonder the sun turns cold.
Mrs. Antrobus, I take back everything I said. I don't want to leave a house that gets such interesting telegrams. And I'm sorry for everything I said, I really am.
Young man, I'd like to give you something in return for all this trouble. I have no food nor money in the house.
Oh, well, Mrs. Antrobus, could I ask you something? I have a wife and children of my own. If the cold gets worse, what should I do?
I think we'll all die, that's what I think. A cold like this in August, well, it is just the end of the world.
I don't know. After all, what does one do about anything? Just keep as warm as you can and don't let your wife and children see that you're worried.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Antrobus. Well then, I'd better be going. Oh wait, I almost forgot. There's one more sentence left in the telegram. 3 cheers have invented the wheel.
A wheel? What's a wheel?
I'm not really sure, that's just what it said. The sign for it is like this. Well then, I'd better be going. Bye!
Mrs. Antrobus, seems to me like all the nice men in the world are already married. I don't know why that is.
Do you ever remember carrying a lady cold like this in the middle of August? From your grandmothers or anyone? Have you any suggestions? Henry, Gladys, children, come ready to get warm. No. Not as a thing, she means it. Henry, put down that stone. You know what happened last time. Henry, put down that stone. Gladys, put down your dress. Try it, dear lady.
Mama, I'm hungry! Mama, why is it so cold? Mama, it's so cold that I'm over and I can't even understand it!
Settle down, both of you. It's just a cold spell of some kind. Now listen to what I'm saying. Today, when your father gets home from the office, I want you to be extra quiet. He's had a hard day, and I don't know, but he may be having one of his moods. I just got a telegram from him, very happy and excited. You know what that means. Oh, Henry! Why can't you remember to keep your hair over your forehead? Oh, you must keep that scar covered up. Don't you know that when your father sees it, he loses all control over himself? He goes crazy, he wants to die. Lift your head up, stop squirming. Blessed me, sometimes I think it is going away, and then there it is, just as red as ever.
Mama, today in school, 2 teachers forgot and called me by my old name. They forgot. Mama, you'd better write another letter to the principal so he'll tell them I've changed my name. Right out in class, they called me
Don't
Kane.
say it. If you're good, they'll forget. Henry, you didn't hurt anyone today, did you?
Oh, no.
And Gladys, I want you to be extra nice to your father when he comes home. You know what he calls you when you're good? His little angel, his little star. Gladys Antrobus, what is that red stuff you have all over your face? Get away from me, both of you. I wish I'd never seen sight or sound of you. Let the cold come. I can't stand it.
All the girls at school do, Mama.
I'm through with you, that's all. Sabina! Don't you know your father would go crazy if he saw that red stuff all over your face? Don't you know your father thinks you're perfect? Don't you know he couldn't live if he didn't think you were perfect? Sabina!
Yes, Mrs. Antrobus.
Take this girl out to the kitchen and wash your face with the scrubbing brush.
I've been working on the railroad.
Sabina, what's that noise outside?
All this long day.
Oh my God, it's a drunken giant! It's a grandma road and it kills our bedtime! No!
Help me quick, everybody! Who is it? What do you want? Have you any boiling water ready?
Flowing.
What do you want?
Broken down Camel picks down open the store.
Oh God, be praised, it's your father. Sabina, clear the room quick. Gladys, come here while I clean your nasty face.
Let me in now or I'll tear the whole house down.
Just a minute, George. Something's the matter with the lock. Okay. Now, you can open the door. I'm ready.
How's the whole crooked family? How have they been, Maggie?
Well, I must say they've been as good as gold. I haven't had to raise my voice at them once. I don't know what's the matter with them.
Oh, Papa's little weasel, like Papa's little gopher. And Henry! Nothing rash today, I hope. Nothing rash.
No, Papa.
Ah, well, that's good, that's good. I bet Sabina let the fire go out.
Sorry, Mr. Antrobus, but I'm leaving 2 weeks. I'm sorry, but I'm leaving.
Oh. Well, if you leave now, you'll freeze to death, so go on and cook the dinner.
2 weeks. That's the law.
Did you get my telegram?
Yes, what's a wheel?
Oh,
And what does this cold weather mean? It is below freezing.
not in front of the children.
Shouldn't we do something about it? Start off move?
Not in front of the children. Not today. The day that the alphabet was finished, and that we discovered the hundred, there's no end to them. Oh, Maggie, I've had a day at the office. Take a look at the wheel. Once I get that to right, so you'll see a sight. Maggie, we've reached the top of the wave. There's not much left to be done. We're there.
And the ice.
The ice.
Papa, you could put a chair on this.
Yes, any booby can fool around with it, but I was the one who thought of it first.
Children, will you step out into the kitchen? I want to talk to your father alone. So?
It's cold.
I know it's cold. You can try and prevent us from freezing, and you can do something. We could start moving, or we can go on the animals' backs.
You know, the best thing about animals is that they don't talk much.
Stop
that! By midnight, we'd all turn to ice. The roads are full of people who can scarcely lift a foot from the ground. The people up north, where are they? Frozen, crushed.
Is that what's going to happen to us? Will you answer me?
I don't know. I don't know anything. Some say that the ice is slowing down. Some say that it's stopped entirely. The sun's growing cold. What can I do about that? Nothing we can do but burn everything in the house. Keep the fire going. When we have no more fire, die.
Well, why didn't you say so in the first place? Mr. Antrobus.
Mr. Antrobus.
George, who's that? Who's calling you?
Well, let's see.
Can you warm our hands, please? It's very cold, Mr. Antrobus.
Mr. Antrobus, I wonder if you have a piece of bread or something you can share.
George, who are all these people? Why, they're all over the front yard. What did they come here for?
Mrs. Antrobus, there's a bunch of tramps knocking at the back door.
George, you tell these people to move right along. I'll go and send them away from the back door. Sabina, come with me.
Sabina, wait a moment. I have something I wish to say to you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to actually wait a couple moments longer. There'll be coffee and sandwiches in a moment.
Mr. Antrobus? What's that? That big white thing. That's ice. That's ice!
Sabina, I want you to go inside the kitchen and make a whole lot of coffee. A whole pail full. And sandwiches like this.
Oh! I know what this part of the play means now. This means refugees. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Miss Somerset.
Miss Somerset!
Ladies and gentlemen, please do not take this part of the play seriously. Nobody's actually dying. People exaggerate. Besides, everyone does have a roof over their heads and enough to eat. And if you're starving, you could just eat grass or something. Besides, that ice business was a long, long time ago. And they were only savages. Savages don't care about their families, not like we do.
Miss Somerset!
All right! I'll say the lines, but I won't think about the play, and I advise you not to think about the play either.
George, these tramps say that you asked them to come here. What does this mean?
Maggie, they're just a few friends that I met on the road.
No, don't you ask them
They're
in.
real nice, real useful people.
George Antrobus, none of their soul comes in here over my dead body.
Maggie, there is a doctor there. Lord knows we need a good doctor in the house. You never know when a child's throat can get stopped up. What you and I have seen.
All right, just one person then, the doctor. The others can go right along the road.
Maggie, there's an old woman there, a particular friend of mine.
I won't listen to you.
It was she who really started off the ABCs.
I don't care if she perishes. We can do without reading and writing. We can't do without food.
Then let the ice come. Drink your coffee. I don't want any coffee if I can't drink it with some good people.
Oh, stop shouting! Who else is there trying to push us off the cliff?
Well, there's the man who makes all the laws, Judge Moses.
Judges can't help us now.
And if we pull through this, what have you and I done? have we been able to bring up Henry?
Who are those women?
These are the muses. They're sort of music teachers. One of them sings, one of them reads, one of them writes.
A singing troupe! Oh, that's the end. Take your choice, live or die. Starve your children before your face.
Maggie, these people, they don't take much. They think they'll live and work forever. And besides, Maggie, listen. No, Maggie, listen. Who have we got in this house besides Sabina? Whose spirits can she lift up? Sabina's always thinking that the worst is going to happen. Maggie, these people, they don't ask for much. They'll eat and sleep on the floor if they have to.
All right, let them in. Let them in. But these animals must go. Enough's enough. They'll soon be big enough to push the walls down anyways.
All right. All right. Come on. Come on. Yes. Good boy. Good boys. Yes. Come on. Yes. Yes. Come on. Oh, yes. Yes. Come on. This way. This way. Yes. Good boys. Good boys. Good boys. Yes. Yes. Come on, big guy. Come on. Yes. Come on. Come on. Yes. Yes. Nice cold, fresh air. Come on.
Let's go!
Bracing! Come on. Come on. Come in. All right. Maggie, this is the doctor. Doctor, you know my wife. Maggie, this is the professor. Professor, meet my wife. Judge, come on, sit over here. Yes, come on. Homer, the poet. Maggie, you know Homer, the poet. Okay, Miss Amuse, are your sisters here? Yes, Miss Amuse, Miss Emuse, Miss T-Muse.
Pleased to meet you. Just make yourself comfortable. Supper will be ready in a minute.
Yes, friends, supper will be ready in a minute. I'll be right back. Sabina, pass the sandwiches.
I thought I was working in a respectable house with respectable guests.
Sabina, pass the sandwiches.
I'm handing in my notice, Mr. Andrews. 2 weeks, that's the law.
There's the law. That's Moses.
The 10 Commandments. That's the worst line I've ever heard to say on any stage.
Whew. Okay, I think the best possible thing to do is to not wait on ceremony, but to pass the sandwiches along for Mark to... Here you go, Judge. Take some sandwiches.
The roads are crowded, I hear. Well, you know what I think it is? I think it's sunspots.
That's what I was saying the other day.
Well, I don't think that the whole world's gonna turn to ice. I mean, Judge, was it all for nothing? I mean, Professor, did we just fail the whole thing?
Well, it certainly is very strange. Oh, Doctor, I want you to meet my children. They're having their supper, and of course I want them to meet you.
How many children have you, Mrs. Antrobus?
I have two, a boy and a girl.
I understood you had 2 sons, Mrs.
Abel, my son. My son, Abel, my son.
What is that?
Mr. Antrobus, that son of yours, that Henry Antrobus, I do not stay in this house for a moment. He is not fit to live amongst respectable people, and that is a fact.
Don't say another word, Sabina. I'll bring her back.
Mr. Antrobus, he was eating his supper supper, and then he went out to play, and if he hasn't killed the boy that lives next door, then I am very much mistaken. But he was eating his supper, and then he went out to play, and then I heard such a fight, and then I saw it, and I saw it with my own eyes, and it looked to me like stark murder!
He was going to take the wheel away from me. He started to throw a stone at me first.
George, it was just boyish impulse. George, remember how young he is. George is only 4,000 years old.
And everything's going so well.
Put out the fire! Put out all the fire! There's no point in living!
Dr. Judge, help me! George, have you lost your mind?
There is no mind! There is no point in living! Give it up! Give up trying!
Mr. Antrobus, I am downright ashamed of you.
George, have some more coffee. Gladys! Where's Gladys gone? Here I am, Mama. Go upstairs and get your father's slippers. How could you forget such a thing? Can't some of you sing? Isn't it your life's business to sing? Isn't it? Sabina! George! Remember all the other times? The year the volcanoes came right up the front yard. And the time the grasshoppers ate every single leaf and blade of grass. And all the grain and spinach you grow with your own hands.
Henry! Henry! You, me, all of us were covered with blood!
And remember all the times you were pleased with him and you were happy with yourself. Henry! Recite to your father the multiplication table you do so nicely.
2 times 6 is 12. 3 times 6 is 18.
Papa! I was a very good girl in school today. Miss Conover said right out in class that if all girls had as good manners as Gladys Antrobus, that the world will be a very different place to live in.
Gladys, you recited a piece at assembly, didn't you? Recite it to your father.
Papa, do you want to hear what I recited in class? The Star by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow.
Wait! Oh, the fire's going out! Oh, Henry, go upstairs and bring down the chairs.
Yes, Mama.
Papa, look. Here's my report card. Look it. On the thing. Papa, do you want to hear The Star by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow? Papa, you're not mad at me, are you? I know I'll get warmer. Soon, it'll be just like spring, and we can go to a picnic at the Hibernian picnic grounds like we always wanted to do. Don't you remember? Papa, just look at me for once.
You recited at assembly, did you? You didn't forget it.
No, I was perfect.
It's cold. Build up the fire. I said build up the fire! It's cold! Come on. We'll do what we can. Sabina, go out to get more wood. The young ones may be able to pull through this. Come on now, everybody gather around, come on! If we do make it through this, what do you know? Henry, did you take a good look at the wheel?
Yes, Papa.
Okay, and 5 times 2 is?
5 times 2 is 10.
6 times 7 is?
6 times 7
Come on.
is...
Come on. Come on, I don't care if your head is fuzzy. What is 6 times 2?
6 times 2 is 12.
Yes. Okay, put something on top of Gladys' head. On the chance that she can use it.
What should it be, George?
Teach her the beginning of the Bible.
But Mama, it's so cold and close.
5 times 5 is?
5 times 5 is 7.
In the beginning,
Yes. 5
God
times
created the heavens and the earth.
7 is...
In the beginning, God created the
7 times
heavens
8.
And the earth was waste and void, and the darkness was upon the face of the deep.
And the earth was waste and void.
9 times 8.
And the darkness was upon the face of the deep. Trees passed over the earth. And
God
God
on the light day. The darkness was
20
all
times
night.
5.
And God is down on your chairs, please. You can pass down your
20
chairs.
times 7.
Your chairs, ladies and gentlemen, please. If we could just get some chairs. There's fire.
6 times 7.
Please pass down your chairs.
Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, your chairs, please.
Come on. 5 times 8.
Save the human race.
Just an incredible hurricane. It has dropped. It has dropped 50 millibars in 10 hours. I apologize. This is just horrific.
It's hard to listen to a heart beating close to mine, pounding up against the stone and steel walls that I won't climb. Sometimes the hurt is so deep, you think that you're gonna drown. Sometimes all I can do is weep, weep, weep with all this rain falling down. Strange how hard it rains now. Rows and rows of big dark clouds, but I'm holding on underneath their shrouds. It's hard to know when to give up the fight. Some things you want will just never be right. It's never rained like it has tonight before.
The management brings you
The news and events of the world. Atlantic City, New Jersey. This great convention city is playing host this week to the anniversary convocation of mammals, subdivision human. They are celebrating on the boardwalk. Ladies and gentlemen, its 600,000th annual convention.
They have just elected their president for the ensuing term, Mr. George Antropus of Excelsior, New Jersey. We show you President Antropus and his gracious and charming wife, every inch mammal.
That she is.
Mr. Antropus has had a long career. Credit has been paid to him for the inventions of the lever, the wheel, and the brewing of beer.
Credit has also been extended to President Antropus' gracious and charming wife for many practical suggestions, including the novelty of the year, frying in oil.
Before we show you President Antropus accepting the nomination, we have an important announcement to make. As many of you know, this great celebration of the Order of the Mammals has received delegations from other rival orders, the wings, the fins, the shells, and so on. These orders are holding their conversations also in various parts of the world and have sent representatives to our own, two of a kind.
Later in the day, we will show you President Antropus broadcasting some words of greeting and congratulations to the collective assembly of the whole natural world.
Ladies and gentlemen, we give you President Antropus.
Fellow mammals! Fellow vertebrates! Fellow humans! I thank you. It is perhaps not appropriate that during this day of celebration that we address some of the difficulties of our past. The dinosaur is extinct! The ice has retreated! And the common cold is being pursued by every means within our power! Yes, yesterday during our honorary ceremony for our friends and families who we have lost, we paid honor to all of them, to those of us who we have lost through sickness, plague, earthquakes, colds, and differences of opinion. It is perhaps that our...
Gone but not forgotten?
They are gone but not forgotten, yes! Yes, yes, I believe I can say, I think I can prophesy with complete...
Confidence.
Thank you, my dear. With complete lack of confidence that a new age of security is upon us. The watchword of the closing year was work. I give you the watchword of the future. Enjoy yourselves!
Sit down. Thank you, Mr. Antrobus. Now I know our visitors will wish to hear a word from that gracious and charming mammal, Mrs. Antrobus. Wife, mother, Mrs. Antrobus.
Dear friends, I don't really think I should say anything. After all, it was my husband who was elected and not I. Perhaps as president of the Women's Auxiliary. I had some notes here. Oh, yes, here they are. I should give a short report from some of the committees that have been meeting in this beautiful city. Perhaps it may interest you to know that it has at last been decided that the tomato is edible. Can you all hear me? The tomato is edible. A delegate from across the sea reports that the thread woven by the silkworm produces a cloth. I have a sample of it here. Can you see? Ooh, shiny, elastic. I should say it's rather attractive, though I personally prefer less shiny surfaces. Well, I could go on talking forever. As Shakespeare says, a woman's work is seldom done. But I think I better join my husband in saying thank you and sit down. Thank you.
Oh, Mrs. Antrobus.
Yes?
We hear you're about to celebrate a wedding anniversary. I know our listeners would like to share a few felicitation here after a few words from you on the subject.
As I have been asked by this kind woman, yes, my friends. Mr. Antrobus and I have been married 5,000 years. And each wedding anniversary reminds me of the times where there were no weddings. We had to crusade for marriage. Perhaps there are some women within the sound of my voice who remember that crusade and those struggles. And we fought for it, didn't we? We chained ourselves to lampposts and we made disturbances in the Senate. Anyway, at last, we women got the ring. A few men helped us, but I must say that most men blocked our way at every step. They said we were unfeminine. I only bring up these unpleasant memories because I see some backsliding from that great victory. Oh, my fellow mammals, keep hold of that. My husband says that the watchword for the year is enjoy yourself. I think that's very open for misunderstanding. My watchword for the year is save the family. It's held together for over 5,000 years. Save it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Antrobus. We had hoped to show you the beauty contest that took place here today. Experienced Judge President Antrobus gives the title role of Miss Atlantic City to Miss Lily Sabina Fairweather, charming hostess of our Portland Bingo Parlor. Unfortunately, however, our time here is up. And we would like to show you a few views of beautiful Convention City and conveners enjoying themselves.
Your partner's deceiving you in that Kansas City deal. You'll have 6 grandchildren. Avoid high places. Cirrhosis will deliver.
Esmeralda. Yes. Has President Antrobus come along yet?
Esmeralda, I'm afraid I'll miss him. If I fail in this, I'll die. I know I'll die. President Antrobus. And I'll be his wife. I'll be Mrs. George Antrobus. Esmeralda, tell me my future. All right, it's fine. I'll tell you my future. I won the beauty contest of Atlantic City. I'll win the beauty contest of the whole world. I'll take President Antrobus from that wife of his. I'll take every man away from his wife. I'll turn the whole world upside down.
Shut your foolish mouth. When Mr. Antrobus comes along, you can see what you can do. Until then, go away.
Get away, boys. I'm after a bigger fight than you are.
Jesus. I can tell the future. Nothing easier. Everyone's future is in their face. Nothing easier. But who can tell your past? Nobody. Your youth, where did it go? It slipped away while you weren't looking. While you were asleep. While you were drunk. Pah! You're like our friends, the Antrobuses. You lie awake nights trying to
Nobody listens. I see a face among you now. I won't embarrass him by pointing him out, but listen, it may be you. Next year, the watch spring inside you will crumple up. Death by regret. It's in the corners of your mouth. You'll realize you should have lived for pleasure, but you missed it. Death by regret. Avoid high places. And now it's the immediate future of our friends, the anchovises. You all know as well as I what's coming. Rain, rain, rain and floods, the deluge. But first you'll see shameful things. Shameful things. Some of you will be saying, let him drown, give the whole thing up. I can see it in your faces, but you won't. Keep your doubts and despairs to yourselves. Again, there'll be the narrow escape, the survival of a handful from destruction. Total and utter destruction. Even if the animals of you will be saying, two of a kind, male and female, two of a kind. And you, mark my words before it's too late. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Bail out the flood with your soup spoons. You've had your chance and you've lost. Here they come, the anchovises. Your hopes, your despairs, yourselves.
Class Anchobus, try and walk like a lady, but it's funner this way. It's too bad the president has such a clumsy daughter. That's all I can say. Try and be a lady.
Ah, yeah, that's been said 100 billion times.
Goodness, where's Henry? He was here a minute ago. Henry!
Hey! He's not back!
I'll punch your eye out! I'll make you yell like you've never yelled before. Now I'm warning you, you make me mad, you'll get hurt.
Oh, Henry!
What is
behave
this?
yourself.
Put down that slingshot!
That's right, young man. There are too many people in the world as it is. Everyone's in the way except oneself.
All I wanted to do was have some fun. No fun? Nobody touches my chair but me.
Henry, what were you doing?
Everybody's always getting mad at you. Everybody's always trying to push you around. I'll make him sorry for this. I'll make him sorry.
Give me the slingshot.
I won't. I'm sorry I ever came to this place. I wish I weren't here. I wish I weren't anywhere.
Now, Henry, don't get so excited over nothing. I declare I don't know what we're going to do with you. Put your slingshot in your pocket and don't try and take a hold of things that don't belong to you.
After this, you can stay home. I wash my hands of you.
Come now, let's forget all about it. Everybody, take a good breath of that sea air and calm down. Now, children, what do you want to do? No, sir, if you're tired, you can sit right where you are. We have no money to spend on foolishness.
Oh, I suppose we have money enough for a thing like that. Just one of the things that you do in Atlantic City.
Oh, have we? I tell you, it is a miracle my children have shoes to stand up in. I didn't think I'd ever live to see them tossed around in chairs.
Maggie, we're on vacation, aren't we? I suppose we have the right to some treats. Maggie, I suppose one of these days you're going to drive me crazy.
All right, go. I'll just sit here and laugh at you. Mark my words, a rainy day is coming. There's a rainy day ahead of us. I can feel it in my bones.
Hey, George! I see you brought the little family along.
What do you mean by that?
Maggie, I'm telling you, there's only so much that a man can stand. I mean, haven't I worked hard enough? Don't I deserve some vacation? Can I so much as give my kids a ride in a roller chair?
Anyway, it's gonna rain very soon, and you have your broadcast to make.
Maggie, I'm warning you. You're driving me crazy. There's only so much of a family a man can stand.
Why, George Antrobus, how can you say such a thing? You have the best family in the world.
Why, hello, Mrs. Fairweather.
George, who on earth was that you were speaking to?
Mama, wasn't she beautiful?
Papa, introduce her to me.
Children, will you be quiet while I ask your father a simple question? Who did you say it was, George?
Oh, that was just a friend of mine, a nice, refined girl.
I'm waiting.
That was the winner of the beauty contest. That is Miss Atlantic City.
She looked like Sabina to me.
Mama, the lifeguard knows her too. Mama, he knows her well.
Oh my God! Henry, come over here. Miss Fairweather is a very different matter from Sabina and the sole support of her aging mother.
So Sabina! So Sabina! Sabina, and it took a wall of ice for you to open your eyes about Sabina. Henry, come over here and sit down on this bench.
Miss Fairweather is a very different matter from Sabina. Miss Fairweather is a college graduate, Phi Beta Kappa.
Henry, you sit here by Mama. Gladys!
Reduced circumstances have taken her to taking up a job in a bingo parlor, but there isn't a girl with higher values in the country.
All right, let's not talk about it. Henry, I haven't seen a whale yet.
She speaks 7 languages, and she's acquired more culture in her pinky finger than you've acquired in a lifetime.
All right, George. I'm glad to know there are such superior girls in the bingo parlors. Henry, what's that?
What is it, Papa?
That's the weather signal. 1 of those lights means bad weather, 2 means a storm, 3 means a hurricane, and 4, the end of the world!
Goodness, I'm going this very minute to buy you all some raincoats.
Mama, don't go yet. I like sitting this way. And the ocean's coming in and coming in. Papa, don't you like it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's only one thing I'd like to make me a perfectly happy woman. I'd like to see a whale.
Oh, Mama, we saw 2, right out there. They're delegates to the convention. I'll find you one.
Papa, ask me something. Ask me a question.
How big's the ocean?
Papa, you're teasing me. It's 360 million square miles and it covers 3/4 of the Earth's surface. And its deepest place is 5.5 miles deep, and its average depth is 12,000 feet. No, Papa, ask me something hard. Real hard.
Now I'm going to buy you all those raincoats. I think that bad weather's going to get worse and worse. I only hope it doesn't come before your broadcast.
I hope it comes in.
Henry.
Everything before it. I hope it.
Henry. Henry. George, I think it's one of those storms that are just as bad on land as they are on sea, where you're safe and safer in a good stout boat.
There's a boat out at the end of the pier.
But you keep your eye on it. George, you shut your eyes and get some rest before the broadcast.
Thundering Judas. Do I have to be told when to open and shut my eyes now? Go buy your raincoats.
Now, children, you have 10 minutes to walk around. 10 minutes. Henry, control yourself. Gladys, stick by your brother and don't get lost. Will you be all right, George? What's the matter with the family? I'd like to know.
Kit, here's your dog.
I'm nervous. Every time I start one of these, I'm nervous.
More than you want. He's 45. His head's a little dizzy. He's just been elected president. He's never known any other woman than his wife. Every time he looks at her, he realizes he knows every foolish thing she's ever done.
I'm nervous. Oh, Mr. Antrobus. Dare I speak to you for a moment?
Why, certainly, Miss Fairweather. Go! Go! Go!
Mr. Antrobus, I've been so unhappy. I've been wanting to make sure that you don't think that I'm the kind of girl who goes out for a beauty contest.
That's the way.
Oh, I understand. I understand perfectly well.
Give it a little more. Lean on it.
I knew you would. Just this morning, my mother said to me, that fine Mr. Antrobus gave you the prize because he saw at once that you weren't the kind of girl who go out for a beauty contest. But honestly, Mr. Antrobus, in this world, a good girl just don't know where to turn.
Now you've gone too far.
My dear Miss Fairweather.
Mr. Antrobus, I'm afraid I'm being a little conspicuous here, but would you mind coming down just for a moment to my beach cabana?
Oh, certainly, just for a moment.
Yes, I have a very comfortable deck chair here because, you know, you do look tired, Mr. Antrobus. Just this morning, my mother said to me, Lily, she said, I hope that kind find Mr. Antrobus is getting a good night rest because his strong face has all those harsh lines running through them. Isn't it true, Mr. Antrobus? You work too hard.
Bingo.
Now, you just lay down. And I shan't say a word, no, not a word. I'll just lay here. Privileged, that's what I am.
Oh, Miss Fairweather, you'll spoil me.
Oh, no, just a moment. There's something I wish to say to the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, I will not be doing this particular scene tonight. It's just a short scene, but I will tell you everything that happens, and we can just go on from there.
Somerset.
So, in this scene, I speak to Mr. Antrobus. He decides to divorce his wife. They go to Reno to get the divorce, and then he marries me. That's it. So
Miss Somerset, we insist on you playing this scene.
sorry, Mr. Fitzpatrick, but I can't, and I won't.
Why?
Because there are some lines in this scene that could hurt some people's feelings, and I don't think the theater's a place where people's feelings ought to get hurt.
You know what? Go pack up your things, okay? I will call your understudy, and I will report you to Equity.
Well, I sent the understudy up the corner for a cup of coffee, and if Equity tries to penalize me for this, I will take this case right to Supreme Court.
Why can't you play the scene?
Yeah, what's wrong with the scene?
Well, if you must know, I have a personal guest in the audience tonight, and her life hasn't exactly been all that perfect. And I wouldn't have her hear some of these lines for anything in the world.
Miss Somerset, your friend will be fine. We must play the scene.
No!
You know what? Alright, fine. You can go to your dressing room. I'll play the scene, yes.
Everyone's turned on edge.
Okay, skip the scene!
Thank you, I knew you would understand. So we'll just go from what I said. I talked to Mr. Antrobus, he decides to divorce his wife, marry me, blah, blah, blah. And we can take it from where
Okay, wait, I can't get back into it all easily as all that. Okay, and you say... Yes. Mrs. Fairweather, I mean, Lily, it won't be easy to lay all this before my wife. It'll just hurt her feelings.
Listen, George, other people haven't got feelings. Not in the same way we have. We who are presidents like you and prize winners like me. Listen, other people haven't got feelings. They just imagine they have. Within 2 weeks, they're back to playing straw and going to the movies. Everyone else in the world, except for a few people like you and me, are just people made of straw. Now that you're president, you'll see that. Listen, there is a secret society at the top of the world. Like you and me that know this. The world was made for us. So come here. Now when your wife comes, it'll be very simple. Just tell her.
Lily, you're a wonderful woman.
Of course I am.
Gladys! Here I am, Mama. Gladys Andrews, where did you get those dreadful things?
What? Papa liked the color.
You go back to the hotel this minute.
I won't. Papa liked the color.
All right, you stay right there. I've got a good mind to let your father see that way. You stay right there.
I don't want to stay if you don't think you like it.
Oh, it's all one to me. I don't care what happens. I don't care if the biggest storm in the whole world comes. Let it come. Where's your brother?
He'll be here.
Oh, will he? Let him get into trouble. I don't know where your father is, I'm sure.
Mama, I think Mama, he's talking to the lady in the red dress.
Is that so? We'll wait here till he's through. Sit down here beside me and stop fidgeting. What are you crying about?
You don't like my smoking.
Mrs. Antrobus, thank God we found you at last. Where's Mr. Antrobus? We've been hunting everywhere for him. It's about time to broadcast the conventions of the world.
I expect he'll be here in a minute.
Mrs. Antrobus, if he doesn't show up in time, I hope you will consent to doing the broadcast in his place. It is the most important broadcast of the year.
No, I shan't. I haven't one single thing to say.
Miss Fairweather, have you seen?
Joe,
Here we go. There it is, there it is.
In the name of God, Mr. Antrobus, you're on the air in 5 minutes. Would you kindly please come and test the instrument? That's all we ask. If you just begin the alphabet slowly.
Okay, I'll be ready when the time is right. Until then, move away, go away. I have something I wish to say to my wife.
Mr. Antrobus, it's the most important broadcast of the year.
Don't let her argue. Remember, arguments have nothing to do with it.
Maggie, I'm moving out of the hotel. In fact, I'm moving out of everything. For good. I'm going to marry Mrs. Fairweather, and I'll provide generously for you and the children. And in due time, you'll see that this was all for the best. That's all I have to say.
Mr. Antrobus, it's the most important broadcast of the year.
What did Papa say, Mama? I didn't hear what he said.
B12, C17, C17.
Take it!
Mr. Antrobus, we just want to test your voice with the alphabet.
Go away, clear out!
George, I can't talk to you until wipe those silly red marks off your face.
That's all I have to say, Maggie.
Well, after living with you for 5,000 years, I guess I have a right to a word or two, haven't I?
What do I say to that?
Tell her that conversation would only hurt her feelings. It's kinder in the long run to do things short and quick.
Maggie, I just want to spare your feelings in every way I know I can.
Mr. Antrobus, the hurricane signal's gone up. Begin right now.
I didn't marry you because you were perfect, George. I didn't even marry you because I loved you. I married you because you gave me a promise. And that promise made up for your faults, and the promise I gave you made up for mine. Two imperfect people got married, and it was the promise that made that marriage.
Maggie, I was only 19.
And when our children were growing up, it wasn't the house that protected them, and it wasn't our love, it was that promise. And when that promise is broken, this can happen.
Gladys, Antrobus, have you gone crazy? Have you all gone crazy? You did this, you gave them
haven't said a word to her.
Gladys Antrobus, you go back to the hotel and you take those things off right now.
Before I go, I've got something to tell you. It's about Henry.
Stop your noise. I'm taking her back to the hotel, George. But before I go, I have a letter. I have a message thrown to the ocean. Where is the plague thing? Here it is. It's a bottle, and in the bottle's a letter, and in the letter is written all the things that a woman knows. It's never been told to any man, and it's never been told to any woman. And when it finds its destination, a new time will come. We're not what books and plays say we are. We're not what advertisements say we are. We're not in the movies, and we're not on the radio. We're not what you're all told and what you think we are. We're ourselves. And if any man can find one of us, he'll learn why the whole universe was set in motion. And if any man harm one of us, his soul, the only soul he's got, had better be at the bottom of that ocean. And that's the only way to put it. Gladys, come here. We're going back to the hotel.
Such goings on. Don't give it a minute's thought.
Anyway, I think you ought to know that Henry hit a man with a stone. He hit one of those men that pushed the chairs, and the man's very sick. Henry ran away and hid, and some policemen are looking for him very hard. And I don't care a bit if you don't want to have anything to do with Mama and me. Because I'll never like you again, and I hope nobody ever likes you again, so there!
I have to go see what I can do about
No,
this.
no, don't go now while you're all excited. You're about to be on air.
Thank you, Miss Fairweather.
Say anything, just a bunch of birds and fishes and things.
Wait, what is it? Who am I talking to?
Why, Mr. Antrobus, to our father and all the other brothers.
What are those birds doing over there?
Oh, those are the few of the birds. Those are the delegates to our convention. Two of a kind.
Look at the water. Look at all those fishes jumping. Oh, the children should see this. Oh, and look. Look at the whales. Look, Maggie, look, your whales.
I hope you're ready, Mr. Antrobus.
Wait. You didn't tell me all these animals would be here.
Yes, George, those are the animals.
Yes, Mr. Antrobus, those are the vertebrates. We hope the lion will have a word to say when you're through. Step right up, Mr. Antrobus. We'll just have time before the storm. Wait.
Friends, cousins, 10 million years ago, our forefathers brought upon this planet the spark of life.
Increment! Don't you see the four lights on the weather signal? Take your family to that boat at the end of the pier!
My family? I have no family. Maggie! Maggie! They won't come!
You'll come! Andrew, take the animals with you! 2 of each kind!
George, what is wrong with you? This is just a storm like any other storm. Wait, George, take me with you. We'll go.
Maggie! Maggie!
Here I am. Here's water.
We gotta get into that boat over there.
I know we are, but I can't find Henry. Henry! Henry!
I don't believe it. This is just another storm. This is another storm, right? Right?
Andrew, take the animals along before you! Go! Start a new world! Begin again!
Esmeralda! George, this is just another storm.
Elephants first! Gently, gently! Look where you're going! Okay, quickly or I'll be trampled on! Come on, this way! Come on! Okay, are the kangaroos there? Okay, there you are! Okay, put those turtles in your pouch! Come on!
Come on, see!
I can't find Henry!
Come on! Go! Stop! Okay, come on! 5, only 5! Come on! Okay, wolves, jackals, whatever you are, 10 roaches! Come on! Okay, stop!
Don't leave me here, please.
Come on! Go! Okay, come on! Maggie, you gotta go right now! You gotta take any minute!
Nothing is kept up, Henry! Henry!
Mama, hurry! The pier's cracking! The cracking's setting out!
Henry! Henry! Kane! Kane! Oh, thank God. Wait, you think you want it?
Wait. Mrs. Antrobus! Just remember me? I'll work. I'll help. I'll do anything. Don't leave me here, please.
Yes, a lot of work to be done. Only hurry.
Let's go back to the kitchen, Stu!
I don't know why my life is always getting interrupted. Just when everything's going fine.
Out of the water, boys! Enjoy yourselves! Stuff rags in the cracks on your doors. Climb up on your roof. Nothing can keep out the flood. You've had your chance. You've had your day. You failed. You lost. George Antrobus, think it over. A new world to make. Think it over.
Where are they? Are they dead too? Mrs. Antrobus! Gladys! Mr. Antrobus will be here this afternoon. I just saw him downtown.
Miss Summers,
He says now that the war's over, we'll all have to settle down and be perfect.
Miss Summers says
Maybe they're back there somewhere.
we have to stop a moment.
What is it?
There's an explanation we have to make to the audience. Will you explain the matter to the audience?
Yeah. Lights, please.
Yes.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, there's been an unfortunate accident backstage. Or perhaps I should say another unfortunate accident.
Sorry.
The management feels, in fact, we all feel, that you are due an apology. And now we have to ask for your indulgence in the most serious mishap of all. Several of our actors have been taken ill. I'm not exactly clear on what happened. Apparently it was something that they ate.
It was a big thing! It was one of my shouldn't be eating.
Fitzpatrick, do you know what happened?
Well, it's very clear what happened. These several actors all had dinner together and they just ate something that disagreed with them. It's nothing.
Disagree with them? They're in Bellevue Hospital this very minute in agony getting their stomachs pumped out.
Well, we just all heard that they will all recover.
Yes. It'll be a miracle if they do, a downright miracle. It was the lemon meringue pie.
Okay, whatever it was, they are in no condition to take part in today's performance. Now, naturally, we haven't enough understudies to fill in for all those roles, but we do have a splendid number of volunteers who have agreed to help us out and assure me that they know the lines and the business very well. Allow me to introduce them to you. My dresser, Mr. Russell, himself a very distinguished Shakespearean actor for many years now. Our ASM, Julia. Our wardrobe, Mr. Shea. And the master of the ushers in this theater, Madeline. Now, seeing as most of these scenes take place near the end of the act, we're going to need a short rehearsal, just a short run-through. And seeing as most of them happen in the auditorium, those of you who wish can go out into the lobby, or if you so choose, can sit here and listen to us quietly. Thank you. Mr. Fitzpatrick, if you'd like to take it over.
Yes, okay. Thank you. For those of you who are listening, perhaps I should explain that at the end of this act, the men have come back from the war, and the families are settled down in the house. The author wants to show the hours of the night passing by over their heads, and he wants to show the planets crossing the sky, well, over their heads. Okay, he says, okay, this is a little bit hard to explain. Give me 1 second. Okay, he says that each of the hours of the night are philosophers or great thinkers, you know. Let's say 11 o'clock, for instance, is Aristotle, and 9 o'clock is Spinoza, you know, like that. I really don't suppose it means anything. It's just for poetic effect.
Not mean anything? Why, it most certainly does. 12 o'clock goes by saying all those beautiful things. I think it means that when people are asleep, they have all those beautiful thoughts. Much better than when they're awake.
Excuse me, Mr. Fitzpatrick, if I may.
Yes.
Excuse me, I
Go
said...
ahead, Julia.
Thank you. Mr. Fitzpatrick, you let my father come to a rehearsal. My father's a Baptist minister, and he said the author means that just like the sky and the stars pass by over our heads, the ideas and the thoughts of the great thinkers are in the air around us, and they're working on us, even when we don't know it.
Okay, Julia. That just might be it. Yes. Thank you. That's exactly Julia. Yeah, anyways. So, the hours of the night are philosophers, okay? Ready, friends? Okay. 11 o'clock, Aristotle. Julia.
Yes, and I know 9 o'clock. Oh, and I know 12 o'clock
Yeah,
too.
okay, whatever. Let's do 12 o'clock, midnight, Mr. Russell.
Yes.
Okay. 10 o'clock, Shay, Plato. And 9 o'clock, Spinoza, Madeline.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Let's get this so. Oh, we forgot about the planet.
Oh my God.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the planets are singers. Of course, we can't replace them, so I want you to imagine them singing in this scene. Saturn sings all the way up from the light booth, and Moon sings all the way up from there, and Mars with a red lantern in his hand is singing at the aisles. God, it would have made for such a fine effect. However, 9 o'clock Spinoza.
After experience atomic of the common occurrences of single life remain fused.
Up, louder, Maddie. And I saw that all the objects of my desire and fear.
And I saw that all the objects in my desire and fear were in themselves. Nothing good nor bad, save insofar as the mind was affected by them.
Alright, great. Do you know the rest? Cool. 10 o'clock, Shay. Plato?
Then tell me, O Critias, how will a man choose the ruler that shall rule over him? Will he not?
Yeah. Can you skip to the end, Shay?
Can be multiplied 1,000-fold in its effects upon the state.
Alright, great. Aristotle? Julia?
This good state of the mind possesses its object and energy we call divine. This we mortals have occasionally, and it is this energy which is pleasantest and best. But God has it always. It is wonderful in us, but in him, how much more wonderful.
Alright, midnight, Mr. Russell. Mr. Russell?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry, that's right. You've done this before. Okay, that's it. Lights up on Act 3 of Skin of Our Teeth. Yeah. Do not worry about costumes, okay? All right, great. Okay, lights.
Mrs. Antrobus! Gladys! Mrs. Antrobus! The war's You've heard all this. The war's over. Mr. Antrobus will be here this afternoon. Blah, blah, blah. This peace treaty's been signed. Maybe they're back there somewhere. Mrs. Antrobus!
It's getting light. There's still something burning over there in Newark or Jersey City. But yes, I could swear I heard someone moving about up here, but I can't see anybody.
Oh, Mama, be careful.
Well, Gladys, you stay outside.
Well, let me stay here just a minute. I want the baby to get some of this fresh air.
All right, but keep your eyes open. I'll see what I can find. Gladys Antrobus, do you know what I think I see? There's old Mr. Hawking sweeping the front of his Stop and Shop, sweeping it with a broom. Why, he must have gone crazy like all the others. I see some other people moving about too.
Mama, come back, come back.
No, Gladys, there's something in the air. Everybody's movements sort of different. I see some women walking right out in the middle of the street.
Mrs. Antrobus!
What's that?
Gladys!
Gladys, that's Sabina's voice as sure as I live. Sabina! Sabina, are you alive?
Of course I'm alive. How you girls been? There, no need to get emotional. Take a deep breath. The war's over. Take a deep breath.
The war's over. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I can't believe you.
Mama!
Oh my goodness. Who's this?
That's Gladys's baby. The war's over. Gladys, Sabina says the war's over. Oh, Sabina.
Are there any babies left in the world? Can it cry and can it see and everything?
Yes, he can. He notices everything very well.
Where on earth did you get it? Oh, I won't ask. My, I've lived along the camp all these 7 years and I forgot how to behave. Now we must worry about the soldiers coming back home. Mrs. Antrobus, go and wash up. I just saw Mr. Antrobus downtown. He'll be there this afternoon.
He's alive. You're not joking. And Henry.
Yes. Henry's alive too. That's what they say. Now don't stop to talk now. Just go and get washed up. Gladys. Mrs. Antrobus, do you have any decent clothes?
Yes, I've been saving something for this very day. But, Sabina, who won the war?
Don't stop to talk now. Just go and wash up.
Sabina, how soon after peacetime does the milkman begin coming to our door?
As soon as he catches a cow, dear. Give him time to catch a cow. Mrs. Antrobus, you will not believe what I heard Mr. Antrobus was doing this morning. You're gonna die when you hear. He was tacking up a piece of paper to the door of town hall. It was a recipe a recipe for grass soup that doesn't give you diarrhea. Mr. Antrobus is still thinking of new things. He sends you his love. He has all sorts of ideas for peacetime, he says. Oh, do you have his books? What? We'll pass them over. The first thing he wants to see are his books. He says that if you burnt those books or if the rats have got into them, then it isn't worthwhile starting over again. Yeah. He has all sorts of ideas for peacetime. No more laziness or idiocy. Everyone will be beautiful and intelligent and diligent. Yes. Peacetime will begin before we know it. In a few weeks, we'll be asking the Perkinsons in for a quiet evening of bridge. And turning on the radio to hear how to be big successes with the new brand of toothpaste. I'm sorry to say, Mrs. Antrobus, Lord forgive me, but I enjoyed the war. Everybody's at their best at wartime. Oh, Mrs. Antrobus, I have one more message for Mr. Antrobus. Can you hear me? Well, listen. Henry Antrobus is not to step foot in this house ever again. Mr. Antrobus will kill him on sight if he sees him. What? You don't know about Henry? Oh, well, listen. Henry rose right to the top. He rose from corporal to captain to general to major. I don't know how to say it, Mrs. Antrobus, but the enemy is Henry. Henry's the enemy.
Kill me, really?
Who are you? I'm not afraid of you. The war's over.
I'll kill him so fast. I've been searching for him for 7 years, and all the others I killed were just substitutes.
I'm not afraid of you, Henry Antrobus. The war's over, and you're not more important than any other unemployed. Now you go and hide yourself while we calm your father down.
First thing to do is get rid of those old books. It's the ideas he gets out of those old books that make the whole world, so you can't leave those books alone. Your father's looking forward to those especially.
Gracious sakes, Henry. You're so tired you can't even stand up. Now, you just lay there. Your mother and sister will be here in a moment, and then we can think about what to do with you.
What did they ever care about me?
There's that old whine again. All you people talking about how you're not loved enough. Well, you start being lovable, and maybe we'll love you.
I don't want anybody to love me.
And stop talking about it all the time.
I never talk about it. The last thing I want is anybody to pay attention to me.
I can hear it behind every word you say.
I want everybody to hate me.
Yes, you've decided that's second best, but it's still the same thing. Mrs. Antrobus, Henry's here. He's so tired he can't even stand up.
Henry? Henry!
Have you anything to eat?
Yes, I have. I've been saving it for this very day. 2 good potatoes. No, oh, Henry, put them to your father. Henry, you give me back that other potato this minute.
He's so dog-tired he doesn't even know what he's doing.
You just rest there until I can get your room ready. You eat that potato good and slow so you get all the nourishment out of it.
Well, might as well know right now that I haven't come back here to live.
I'll put this coat over you. Your room's hardly damaged at all. Your football trophies are a bit tarnished, but Speed and I will polish them up tomorrow.
Did you hear me? I don't live here. I don't belong to anybody.
Why, how can you say anything like that? You certainly do belong right here. Where else would you want to go? Henry, your forehead's feverish. Oh. Henry, you better give me that gun. You won't be needing that anymore. He's fallen asleep already with this potato attitude.
The terror of the world.
Savina, you mind your own business and start putting the room to rights.
That's all we do. Always beginning again. Over and over again, always beginning again. How do we know that this time it'll be any better than before? Why do we keep on pretending? All these things will keep happening until the world goes cold. It'll be more wars and walls of ice and floods and earthquakes.
Stop arguing and go on with your work.
All right, but I'll go on just out of habit. I won't believe in it.
Now, Sabina, I've let you talk long enough. Do I have to explain to you what everybody knows? Everybody who keeps a home going? Do I have to say to you what nobody should ever have to say because they can read it in each other's eyes? Now listen to me. I could live in a cellar for 70 years making soup out of grass and bark without ever doubting that this world has a work to do and a will to do it. Sabina, do you see this house, 216 Cedar Street? Do you see it?
Yes, Mrs. Antrobus.
Well, just to have known this house is to have seen the idea of what we can do if we keep our wits about us. Too many people have suffered and died in order to make my children rich for us to start reneging now. So, we'll go on putting the room to rights. Now go and see what you can find in the kitchen.
The kitchen? Why do I always end up back in the kitchen?
Goodness gracious. When you know my father was a parson. It was almost like I heard his voice speaking, and he's been dead 5,000 years. There have gone and almost waked Henry up.
Fellows, what have they done for us? Blocked our way at every step, kept everything in their own hands, and we've stood it. When are you going to wake up?
Shh, go to sleep. Go to sleep. No, that looks better. Let's go and help Sabina.
Mama, I'm going into the backyard and hold the baby right up in the air and show him that we don't have to be afraid anymore.
All right. What have they done for us? What have we got to lose? That's right, nothing. Tear everything down. I don't care what you smash. We'll begin again, and we'll show them.
Go ahead. Don't think I'm afraid of you either. Right. Do it. Do what you were going to do. Shoot me, I tell you.
You don't have to think I'm any relation of yours. I haven't got any father or any mother or brothers or sisters, and I don't want any. And what's more is I haven't got anybody over me, and I never will. I'm alone, and that's all I want to be, alone. So you can shoot me.
You're the last person that I wanted to see. Just the sight of you tears down all my hopes and dreams. I wish I were back at war still. Do you hear me? War's a pleasure. War's a pleasure compared to what faces us now. Trying to build a peacetime with you in the middle of it.
I'm not going to be a part of any peacetime of yours. I'm going a long way from here and make my own world that's fit for a man to live in, where he can be free and have a chance and do what he wants to do in his own way.
Henry. Let's try again.
Try what? Living here? It's speaking polite downtown to all the old men like you. Standing like a sheep at the street corner, waiting for the red light to turn green. Being a good boy and a good sheep like all the other stinking ideas you get out of your books. Oh no, I'll make a world and I'll show you.
How could you possibly make a world for people to live in unless you first put order in yourself? Mark my words, I shall continue to hunt you down. As long as you keep on mixing up your ideas of liberty with hogging everything for yourself, I shall have no pity on you. You and I, we want the same thing. But until you think of it as something that everybody has the right to, you're my deadly enemy. And I will destroy you.
Sabina, will you go and help me find Gladys and the baby? I need all the hands I can get for this investment. Now, where did I put it?
I hear your mother's voice in the kitchen. Have you seen her?
I have no mother. Get it into your head. I don't belong here. I don't live here.
Then why did you come here? With the whole world to choose from, why did you come to this one place? 216 Cedar Street, Excelsior, New Jersey. Well,
What if I did? What if I wanted to take a look at this place one last time
you
to see
related,
if...
all right. Now when your mother gets here, you must behave yourself. Do you hear me?
What is this? Must behave yourself. You don't say must to me.
Quiet.
Nobody can say must to me. All my life, everybody's been crossing me. Everybody, everyone, all of you. I'm going to be free, even if I have to kill half the world for it. Right now, too. Let me get my hands on this throat. I'll show you. Stop it! Ladies and gentlemen, I forbid these two men from playing this scene. Stop it! Do you not remember what happened last time? You almost strangled him. You became a regular savage. It's true. I'm sorry. I don't know what comes over me. I have nothing against him personally. I respect him very much. I admire him, but something comes over me. It's like I become 15 years old again. Listen. My own father used to whip me and lock me up every Saturday night. I never had enough to eat. He never let me have enough money to buy decent clothes. I was ashamed to go downtown. I never could go to any of the dances. My father and my uncle tried to put rules in the way of everything I wanted to do. They tried to prevent my living at all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, finish what you were saying. Say it all.
In this scene, it's as if I'm back in high school again. It's like I had some big emptiness inside of me, the emptiness of being hated and blocked at every turn, and that emptiness fills up with the one thought that you have to strike and fight and kill and listen. It's as though you have to kill somebody else so as not to end up killing yourself.
It's not true. I knew your dad, and your uncle, and your mother. They did not lock you up. You imagined all of that. They did everything they could for you. How could you say such a thing?
They did. They wished I hadn't been born.
That's not true.
Wait a minute, I have something I have to say too. It's not wholly his fault that he feels he wants to strangle me in this scene. It's my fault too. He says he speaks of emptiness. Well, I have an emptiness in me too. Work, work, work. I mean, that's all I do. I've ceased to live. No wonder he feels that way coming towards me.
There. At last you said it.
We're all just as wicked as we can be, and that's the God's truth.
Come. Come and run your head under some cold water.
I'll take it. I've known him a while, and you guys have to continue the scene.
Thanks. Thanks for what you said. I'll be okay next time. I won't lose control in this place tomorrow. I promise.
George, you're limping?
Yes. Just an old wound from the other war starting to smart up again. I'll manage.
Some lights are coming on. The first in 7 years. Over in Hawkins' open lot, they built a bonfire to celebrate the peace. They're dancing around it like scarecrows.
A bonfire. And you would think people have had enough of things burning.
George, sit down. You're tired.
No. You sit down. I'm tired, but I'm restless. Maggie, I've lost it.
What, George, what have you lost?
The most important thing of all. The desire to begin again. To start building up.
Well, it will come back.
I've lost it. This minute, I feel like all those people dancing around the bonfire, just relief. Just the desire to settle down and to get back into all the old grooves again and to stop the neighbors from walking all over my lawn. It's back in the war, in the middle of all that blood and dirt and hot and cold every day and night. I have visions, Maggie, of the way that things could be when this was all over. When you're at war, you think about a better life. When you're at peace, you think about a more comfortable one. Maggie, I've lost it. I'm sick, and I'm tired.
Listen, the baby's crying. George, while Gladys and I were living here, like moles, like rats, and we were at our wits' end to save the baby's life, the only thought we clung to was that we were going to bring something good out of this. In the night, and in the dark, we whisper about it, starving and sick. You'll have to get it back. Think, what else kept us alive all these years? Even now, it is not comfort we want. We can suffer whatever's necessary, only give us back that promise.
Mrs. Antrobus?
Yes,
You
Sabina.
meeting me?
No, Sabina, you can go to bed.
Mrs. Antrobus, I was wondering if I could go downtown to the bonfire and celebrate seeing that the war is over. Oh, and Mrs. Antrobus, they've opened the gym movie theater and they're handing out one hand-painted soup tureen to every lady, and I thought one of us ought to go.
Well, Sabina, I haven't any money. I haven't seen any money in quite a while.
You don't need any money. They're taking whatever you can give them. And I have some... Mrs. Antrobus, please don't tell anyone. It's kind of illegal, but I'll give you some too.
What is it?
I'll give you some too. Yesterday while I was out, I picked up some beef cubes.
Sabina, you know you'd ought to get that into the center downtown. They know who needs it most.
Mrs. Antrobus, I did not make this war, and I didn't ask for this war. And in my opinion, after anyone has gone through what we've gone through, they have a right to grab whatever they can find. You're a very nice man, Mr. Antrobus, But you'd have gone on a whole lot better in this world if you'd realized that dog-eat-dog was a rule from the very beginning and always will be. The world's an awful place, and you know that. I used to think that something could be done about it, but I know better now. And I hate it! I hate it! All right, you can have them.
Thank you, Sabina.
Can I have one to go to the movies?
Good night, Sabina.
Mr. Antrobus, don't mind what I say. I'm just an ordinary girl. No, I'm just an ordinary girl. But you're a very clever man. A very clever man. And of course you invented the alphabet and the wheel and, my God, so many other things. And if you have any ideas, then please do not let me accept them. It's just that every now and then I have to go to the movies. My nerves can't stand it. But if you have any plans about fixing this crazy old world, then I'm with you. I really am, because the world's... It's... Good night.
Now I remember. Three things always stood right when I could see most clearly. Three things. Three things. The voice of the people, and their confusion and their need. And you. And me. And this house and oh, Maggie, I didn't dare ask you, but the books, they haven't been lost, have they?
No, there are some of them right here. Kind of tattered.
Yes, yes. Remember, we almost lost them once before. And when we did find them, we torn out copies out of old cellars, they ran in everybody's head like a fever. They as good as rebuilt the world. I've never forgotten for long at a time that living is struggle. And that every good and excellent thing in this world stands moment by moment on the razor edge of danger and must be fought for. Whether it's a field, or a home, or a country, all I ask is the chance to build new worlds. And God has always given us that second chance. And has given us voices to guide us. And the memories of our mistakes to warn us. Maggie, we've come a long ways. We've learned. We're learning. The steps of our journeys are marked for us here. In the war, when I was standing all night up on a hill, I try and remember parts and phrases from these books. Words and sentences would come back to me, and after a while, I started to give names to the hours of the night. 9 o'clock, I used to call Spinoza. Where is he? After experience, I
had
taught
taught
me
me that the common occurrences of daily life are vain and futile, and I saw that all the objects of my desires and fear were in themselves, nothing good nor bad save in so far as the mind was affected by them. I at length determined to search out whether there was something truly good and communicable to man.
Then tell me, O Critias, how will a man choose the ruler that shall rule over him?
Will he not choose a man who has first established order in himself, knowing that any decision that has its spring from anger or pride or vanity can be multiplied 1,000-fold in its effects upon the citizens?
This good estate of the mind possesses its object in energy we call divine. This we mortals have occasional, and it is this energy which is pleasantest and best. But God has it always. It is wonderful in us, but in Him, how much more wonderful?
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was waste and void, and the darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Lord said, "Let there be light." And there was light.
But I wouldn't be surprised. The whole world's at 6s and 7s, and why the whole house has fallen down about our ears long ago is a miracle to me. This is where you came in. You can go home now. The rest of this play isn't written yet. We have to go on for ages and ages. Mr. and Mrs. Antrobus? Well, their heads are as full of ideas as they were when they first began. And they told me to tell you, good night.